Improv.
It's a podcast based in a magical land of food. I just really love chat podcasts, sort of easy, chatty podcast, listening to them. But I wanted to marry like a weird story to that, or kind of like an improv world into that, to bring like story in through the side door. So the premise is I play a fictionalized version of myself. I fell through a magical portal behind a Burger King in Chicago. If you're in Chicago, it's the Burger King at Irving and Clark, kind of close to the old I.O.
A lot of people are going to be checking that out now.
Yes.
There's tours that go by there now.
The people for a while have been writing Yelp reviews of that particular Burger King, referencing the podcast.
We also sometimes leave little treats and treasures around there.
Yeah, Adal has left messages and things in the parking lot.
So, Arnie, when you told Adal about the idea, Adal, what was your reaction? How did he present the idea? Because it's a kind of a far out idea.
Yeah, I jumped on board immediately. We were at a wedding, a friend's wedding, and
No one was drunk, right?
I don't think Arnie was drunk, although he tends to get drunk at weddings.
I do, but that wedding was the first thing I'd been to since my daughter had been born, and it was like my wife and I were like terrified because we were away from the baby for the first time.
You were afraid something was going to happen.
Yeah. So it was like the first non-drinking wedding I'd ever been to.
So he comes to you at the wedding.
Yeah. But I was on board immediately. So I'm super into like monsters and ghosts and goblins, and I loved scary stories as a kid. That book, Alvin Schwartz. So I was very much into that sort of fantasy, sci-fi, supernatural thing. And I play a ton of animals. I play a lot of anthropomorphic animals in my improv. So I was ready to just play whatever animal needed to be played.
How did you develop that? Because that's a very, I've been in improv for a long time. Very few people play animals.
Yeah. I usually just I'll play like a cat that's an asshole or something. So it kind of evolved from, in World News, there's a lot of, which we all do, there's a lot of articles with animals involved. So at first it just started off as me being the go-to of like, nobody else wants to play this cat, I'll play it. And eventually I start to relish that and really give a personality.
And then we start pimping him into it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, if there's a cat in this article, obviously,
yeah.
We're going to set Adal up to do it.
Yeah. So, Matt, how did you get involved in this project?
Oh, well, Arnie and I have done all of our improv life, prison time together, I guess. We were on a team together first at I.O. in 2003, and we've been in World News together. We were roommates for 4 years. We just had this very long friendship and partnership. And he sort of just pitched the idea to me, and I just loved it. I was just like, oh, he mentioned maybe a wizard, or I mentioned a wizard. I can't remember which of us said it first, but I was like, once that sort of clicked in my brain of like, oh, it's the most fun thing in this like fantasy world to be like the cliche of the wizard that is also, he knows everything, but he fails at being a real person. Like because any of those characters from those kind of epic stories, they're so much bigger than life, and you don't see them dealing with the mundane things. And I think that's something that we've had comedically in common a lot. Arnie and I are drawn towards the fantastic and the mundane sort of mixed together. So the character just came to me very quickly, and I love the.
And what is the name of the wizard on the podcast?
Usador is the wizard.
And
what's the full name?
It seems like there's more to that.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Improv.
Yes.
I think you're doing an excellent
Thank
job.
you.
And Arnold, you may not be familiar with this concept, but here in Foom, sometimes if you just say the thing you want, if you put it out there into the universe.
That's a secret.
Sorry.
You're giving away all our secret.
I'll never tell.
So if I put something that I want out into the universe,
Yes,
it'll happen.
that's the theory.
Seems kind of like bullshit.
What do you want, Arnie? We have a wish granter, wish advisor here
Yes.
right now. What do you want?
What you want?
You know what? I want to go home, to get back to Earth, to see my wife and my daughter, but to also bring my buddies, Chump, the talking Wolverine,
And Usador, wizard of the 12th realm of Ephesius, master of light and shadow, manipulator of magical delights, devourer of chaos, champion of the great halls of Tarakas. The elves know me as Fiangyark, the dwarves know me as Zoran Hookstanges, and I'm known in the northeast as Plasmanius Paystar.